Friends, today's NRI Samay program from Los Angeles brought to you commercial free by listeners like you. Your generous donations make possible for us to stay commercial free, and today's show is pre-recorded. If you have a question for the guest, please send an email to nrisamay@gmail.com. We will follow up with the guest and find the answer for you. Thank you for your support.
Hello and very warm welcome to all the listeners on NRI Samay. Good morning, good evening, wherever you are. In the recent past, India has seen quite a few, natural disasters where Jammu and Kashmir, Assam, Meghalaya, and a couple of years ago, Uttaranchal were hit with some massive floods. And obviously, whenever these kind of natural disasters happen, there is definitely an outpouring of generosity. People try to do their best and try to help out when there is a great need for social justice that needs to be done. We have a similar situation with Jammu and Kashmir, but it's quite interesting that Jammu and Kashmir, when the floods happened, there was a lot of media focus. The Prime Minister himself went there. But I think after a couple of weeks, the media coverage died down. But that didn't mean that the disaster is any less. Once the water recedes, there are waterborne diseases and other kinds of problems that the people in Jammu and Kashmir are facing. Now, given this situation, we have folks from Hyderabad who are doing something very innovative, creating a lot of awareness about the situation in Jammu and Kashmir and maybe quite a bit in the northeastern states. So to talk about what they're doing different, what is so innovative about their effort, we have Lalitha, Soujanya, and Akram Feroz from Hyderabad, who are actually doing something called as WinterOnWheels. So we'll find out more about what this effort is, how did they come up with this, and where they are right now, what is their final destination, and so on and so forth. So a very warm welcome to Akram and Lalitha.
Hi, Suresh.
Hi, thanks, Suresh. And very warm welcome to all the listeners too from India.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. So first, let me get started. So Akram, I understand you are with the truck and Lalitha is helping you with the coordination and everything from Hyderabad. So where exactly are you right now in your road trip?
We are in Bhopal presently. Tonight we'll be leaving from Bhopal. We have few street theaters and a couple of painting shows and a group performing in the evening concerts. It's a kind of community gathering, kind of, not in big concerts, but in small open where in the public where we are doing that. And tomorrow night we'll be leaving to Indore. Today night we'll be leaving to Indore.
I see. So you typically stay for a day at one city? Is that how you plan out, or?
Yeah, one complete day will be there for the awareness. Now, logistically, we are trying to understand that it also requires, because it has to require a lot of collaborations, coordinations with different places from different groups, from artistic groups, from social groups to do a project, because it's completely an art-based awareness program on natural disasters and communities coming together. So sometimes it's happening that we are staying a couple of days also, like in Bhopal, we stayed yesterday also and today.
Right.
So it's going with, it's like a journey which is moving around, and we are evolving through, we are learning through to what it takes to do a journey like this.
I see. Now, typically we see people either donate money, donate clothes, donate blankets, or even to a certain extent, take these things and deliver to the final destination. What made you guys come up with this kind of a concept where you are going through, multiple states, multiple cities, multiple touch points en route to Jammu and Kashmir? What was the trigger for you guys to?
I accidentally started up. It wasn't initially, it was like as normal as like people giving in. Then we started. And it started when Kashmir was affected with floods. But as soon as Kashmir was done, then we heard it Northeast, and then we heard it Vizag. So it wasn't, Kashmir specific. And I and Lalitha got together for Kashmir, and we were working at two different places. She was working in city, and I was working in Jagitial town in Karimnagar district. And we were, as usual, gathering material like any other team, and we had thought, we'll transfer this around. And during the process, we suddenly realized there's a lot of things happening, and this has to be, collaborated at a different space. What do we see? Can we have a different space and we can create out? So I pitched in the idea to Lalitha that why don't we try and drive, because I come from traveling and art background. So I thought, we have a space where we can experiment with this. Just instead of just transporting, if we're transporting, we might require the same sort of budget. If we might put up a little more budget, might be, we can try to do a larger scale where we can actually double our ROI of investment of material and finances. So that was basic and thought as such. But I calmed down in between because we were lacking budget. Then it was Lalitha pushing me from behind that, no, it is possible, look out, there is this option. And she got, oh my God, without Lalitha, I think this was like an impossible task. It was like seriously huge in a scale when I look into it, and requires so much of coordinations. And you have absolutely no idea. You might plan a lot of things, but you still don't come up into an as such plan during a journey.
Right.
So Lalitha pushed me up saying that, let's do this, move into the cities, because we need people to, listen and talk that, just giving isn't sufficient. It's more in community involvement of understanding what you're doing is a big thing. It's in warmth that we are spreading across. Right. And they should be aware of this, because it's such a human nature that, natural disasters does not look into communities, regions, religions. It breaks all the barriers and brings human to a level that, I am ready to coordinate. I am ready to contribute. It's a very powerful message. And that's where I felt like, art is something similar. That, you don't look into, a lot of barriers. You just get into it.
Right.
So that was, two things matching. That natural disasters make all communities, no matter how distant, how far it. We have seen it, right? Vizag, with Visakhapatnam, people coming and giving a lot of things.
True.
So it's just like, we need to make sure that, see, if nature can bring us so closer and so warm to us, we can live together in such a harmony if we believe into it. So it became an, idea and philosophy as such, and then the journey actually took out. And then Lalitha, keeps on pushing me in the directions where sometimes I feel like, can I not? And she's like, when I know, okay, she's there, yes, I can. Let's try it out.
All right. So, Lalitha, what was the driving force for you? Where did you get that confidence that, yes, you can pull this off?
It so happened, Suresh, actually, right after J&K floods, Akram and I were discussing about doing something for them. And then I saw a post from jkfloodrelief.org, friends of mine, and was trying to inquire if we have something in Hyderabad so that I can pick it up. While I was checking for options at Hyderabad, this guy, in the meanwhile, Akram Feroz, sweeps off his hometown, Jagtial, and, mobilizes them to come forward and collect a truckload of relief material and clothing and rice. All of them within a week's time. So it kind of turned out to be a citizen movement, people of different backgrounds coming together. Of course, he had to do a lot of back-end work, but he was very successfully able to do that. And now the material, of course, needed sorting and were relevant, and that is a whole different issue together, but he made it. And then we were looking options for shipping it to Kashmir. We wanted to send it across to a few J&K, RTI movement folks and other organizations we knew personally. And we were looking for options like Goonj and Goods, but it so happened they actually said it goes to a destination of their choice based on need and not to any particular destination which we wanted. And in the meantime, it was kind of simple and clear, at least for me, as a widely traveled person through the length and breadth of our country, and a TEDx speaker like Akram, and a person who could mobilize Jagtial within a week to come together during natural disasters, despite of a lot of internal differences in that town. And most importantly, a person who has been to J&K and thoroughly knows the ground level situation over there. If he cannot do this, then I don't think anybody else can.
All right. So in terms of
the objective was mostly personally, to me, it was, just to make him talk to the crowds, interact with the public as much as he can, and rest of the awareness and mobilizing part will be done automatically. So we both thought, let's go ahead with this.
And in terms of coordinating this whole thing, how did you guys plan where you need to make a stop, where you need to spend that time? Was this already planned out, or you guys are deciding on the fly, on the run?
I think in the last moments, it's a very funny story how it all turned out. We spoke to the truckwala. We told that we had to transport him. He said, okay. But I told him we might move left and right because I was not aware which way we were moving. We posted on the Facebook around. I started doing around, making a couple of calls. So few cities, I got a wonderful response around. And I knew these are the points. Once I knew I'm getting in very good coordination response, I knew there is a space where I can collect a good chunk of winter material. So what happened was, when we started collecting material in the Karimnagar district and Hyderabad, we were getting very little of winter material. We were getting a very good lot of material. But in Kashmir, the winter was approaching, and by then, no one would talk about the disaster because it would have been like 2 to 3 months done, and no one would have been focusing that winter in Kashmir can be deadly, especially those who have lost things. So we wanted to have very precisely winter material on the truck.
I see.
So once I got it, response from different city, then it shocked out, like, okay, like we are moving to this direction. Then we went to the truckwala and we said that, we are going to this direction. He said, I'm not coming. Just 2 days before the truck. I mean, everything was done. It started coming in the newspapers. It started coming on the radios.
Right.
2 days before, the truckwala says, I'm not coming.
I see.
And it was like one of the toughest times where volunteers from different cities were sending me, WhatsApping me, the media reports, these things. They were excitedly telling it's in the media, we are reaching a lot of people. And I and Lalitha were discussing, we don't have truck. and it was then again, we had to rush in, speak to, I think, we know the logistics of Hyderabad now so thoroughly. But I think most of the truckwalas we might have spoken to, visited to, tried to deal out. Then we somehow deal one which is...
Last moment changes.
Yeah, so last moment we managed one which cost us a lot, but then we felt like if we cancel it out, it will demoralize a lot of collaborations that we are doing. And there were young people who were doing this. And if it demoralizes them, it will be very difficult in things like, public welfare. People will not come forward again. It becomes a very trust-basis issue more than the work. So it was important for us to move ahead and cannot look back. So that was also sort of a motivation that we cannot look back. We have to move forward if the truck is cancelled also. Even if it's an auto, you have to go on. That's the whole point I decided. So on the road, I think a lot of places were being chunked out. But by now, we have a very clear idea where we are heading into. There might few places it might join or not, because truckwalas are very specific of routes and destinations, the diesel fuel charges, because it requires a lot of financial, monetary-wise to do this.
And I think our major sponsors at the Haq, we are hugely, indebted to them, and we are very thankful to them, without whom this was not possible, actually.
Friends, NRI Samay is a non-profit independent alternate media from Los Angeles, USA, which brings positive stories from grassroots activists from all corners of India and across the world. NRI Samay does not rely on corporate funding, and our shows are commercial free. We only rely on your donations. Corporate funded media is driven by the TRP rating, and profits are blurring the distinction between news and entertainment. Why do our news channels talk so much about cricket, movies, accidents, popular figures' personal lives, babies of heroines, gossips, etc., while they should be covering the struggles of people, inequality in our society, rural issues, and border security issues? Why did our media raise some corruption crusaders to the sky on one day and shut them off completely when graft charges were raised on those corporate sponsors? Media relies so much on the corporate funding and government blessings that they cannot report independently. NRI Samay is different. We don't accept funds from any corporations and hence our shows are commercial free. We completely rely on donations from you. Please consider donating to NRI Samay and please go to nrisamay.com and donate generously. This is the only way together that we can continue NRI Samay. All donations are kept transparent on nrisamay.com. And if you have any questions, please write to nrisamay@gmail.com.
I see. So in what way did they help you on this mission?
They are a major sponsor for the whole campaign. So.
I see. So they're taking on Go ahead.
Yeah, I look them as not only as a sponsor because they never asked for a space where you can talk about Sadaf.com. It was just not. I think Pallav being a good friend, he was like, genuinely saying that you guys want to do it. I can try. My father is trying to help it in Jammu and Kashmir. So he had a huge chunk of medicines to be transported around. So we were able to do that. And he was like very genuinely saying that, it does not matter Sadaf is there or not. See, I can do it because we believe into facilitating social change. That is strongly felt in personal conversations that we had with Sadaf.
I see. Now, when you make these stops in, let's say you said you are in Bhopal right now, and I believe before that, before Bhopal, where were you? In Nagpur, right?
Nagpur, right.
Yeah, so when you make these stops over there, what kind of community engagement? Now, I know you said street plays and artwork and things like that, but what is street play about? Like, are you going to talk about
generally natural disasters and community coming together? The idea is that, making them, sometimes it's some kind of an invisible theater. Like, for say example, I have another partner along with me traveling, an artist, Purnima.
I see.
So a female traveling in the truck, so which is in itself is a different idea again. So what happens is that, she starts up, takes up a canvas, sits in the public, starts painting around. There is a curiosity in the public which keeps on coming in. So we become the actors in the public around, trying to say that, what is this? Kind of very, silly questions that people have in their minds about different things. And then come up with an invisible theater in which people can feel it and even the people start questioning it. Okay, is this why? Is this what happens during natural disasters? Why it happens? What can we do it around a part of it? Like global climate change is also a part of it. Is natural disasters. Is it invisible? Do we understand climate change is a part of natural disasters or not? There's a kind of, depending also on the audience and where we are sitting up. So that is also, it becomes a very spontaneous understanding what our audience we are doing. It's not a completely pre-planned, this is the way that we are going to do it. I look into the audience, I try and see what class or what medium or what is the level of an audience that I can understand in that perspective. Is it a mall or is it a market or is it, a kind of audience which is completely floating around and not stationary. So I have to just look in, because I have an experience of traveling in bicycle, doing this theater. So I understand from that perspective and try and do this around. And we also have a help from local theater groups who has better understanding than me. So that helps also.
I see. Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. Like, if you only two people are doing this, or other people also joining you on the ground.
A lot of people actually. That we are like kind of having two partners in every city. One is the social partner, one is the artist partners.
I see.
So the social partners will look off into mobilizing about getting material, getting funds around. Whereas the artist partners looks around that what all can we do as an artistic experiments to reach to the people around. So in every city we're having like these two partners around who are trying to work out along with us.
I see. Now, and the response that you get once you are done with this engagement with the community, what kind of response do you get?
Whatever, I had spoken to the Nagpur team yesterday, and she was like, I'm still getting that, winter material, orders. So I was like, okay, if you're getting it, do not deny any material which is coming in. Keep it on. We'll see how we can coordinate and send it across. Not only Kashmir might be, there are spaces where it will be required and it will be used. If we are unable to do it, we'll send it across to someone who is able to do it.
Right.
Because someone wants to take it out, they believe in taking out. If we disappoint them, it becomes difficult if someone is coming forward to give. So we are trying to do that. And then obviously one challenge in any journey is like, follow up the whole thing, which Lalitha, because of Lalitha, we are able to try and coordinate that. Following up is like, because I am moving forward, I have to coordinate the next one ahead.
I see.
Then also follow up is like a challenge around it, because we are constantly thinking कि indoor का वहाँ ये हुआ है, ये ready है या नहीं है. What did we talk to the media guys? Did we make sure that that group is down there? What location are we? Do we have the police permissions to get into the city? Do we have police permissions to do this theater at that location? So these 4 things I have to look into the forward. Lalitha, will be following up. What happened there? What are the reactions? What is things going on? So she keeps on doing that. Yeah.
So Lalitha, can you share some of those experiences that you might have received as feedback?
Yes, we were actually continuously getting material post, the events which we've conducted in Hyderabad and even Nagpur. That is one happy thing. I'm really, overwhelmed to see all the support which is coming even after we've finished all the events over there locally. So I hope this continues. And because now, unfortunately, we have floods everywhere in northeast. We have cyclone in Vizag, and help is required every minute, literally every minute. We keep getting some calls or, somebody reaches out saying, look, we need help. Can you guys do something? Can you guys coordinate? Can you guys help us out with this? So I'm still looking forward for people to come and, support.
I see. So the fact that there is no media coverage or very little media coverage about the actual situation in Jammu and Kashmir, or I won't be surprised if people say that, okay, it's all done and dusted. What else is there to be done? How much of that has any impact to what you guys are doing?
Huge. I think like people constantly ask me 2 questions. One thing is that it's been done and dusted. Second thing is that why not Vizag? You're going to Kashmir, why? Too far away. Right. So the first point that always is that during any natural disasters there are 2 ways around. One is the relief and the second one is the rehabilitation. Relief is that fancy thing that obviously is like the most important and required there, where everyone is down there and people believe in relief. Rehabilitation is the dirty thing around, which requires time, process, it's a slow movement, it requires a very continuous process around for over a year or so, which is people rarely understand rehabilitation as an important process. People believe that ek kapda jodi ka mil gaya to it's done. But rehabilitation is a longer process. So people have. So I'm happy one way that through this truck I'm able to make people understand rehabilitation is an important process.
Yeah, and for me, I think, I know media and government plays a huge role in all of this, and we are expecting them to, cover everything and do things. At the same time, it's also expected from us as a fellow citizen to actually come forward and help whoever is, actually in that situation, and like a human to human this thing. So,
and the second question of Vizag. It's for the Vizag, it's very interesting that we have also sent a lot of material to Vizag. What we are doing is that is a lot of material that we have collected around. We are actually channelizing ourselves as agents. I am a traveler who is using my skills. She's a social person who is involving with different activities beyond Winter on Wheels. Lalitha is just not part of Winter on Wheels. It's just a project which has come in across. So we are just trying to collaborate with organizations who are working on field. We are just in support structure to them. We are not the change makers. We're trying to use our skills to bring the best to those who are working on that very strongly on the field all the time. That is the most important thing. On field kaun rehta hai. So that way around we are sent around to the people of Vizag who are working on the field. We're sending around to the Assam and Meghalaya people around who are working on the field around. Kashmir is an awareness trip around, which is because Kashmir, a lot of people have an adventure perspective to Kashmir and to look into it, and people who constantly look. Journey to Kashmir, Yes. So there is a lot of attention which automatically comes into it. That attention we want to divert it into understanding the whole process.
Right. Right. So when did you guys actually confront any of the media as to why they stopped covering the floods in Jammu and Kashmir, or even for that matter, the northeastern states?
I think I asked through a very friendly conversation with a friendly journalist around. So he was like, we have to see the next news also, right? So there is something else happening somewhere. We have to send that also, and we have space little. There's so many things in this world. So that's how he responded, very diplomatically.
I didn't get in touch with media till now, so I haven't seen that.
I see. All right. So I guess I know you're running short of time, but if people want to follow your truck journey, can you please share, any social media links that you might have where you're posting regular updates and so on and so forth?
Winter on Wheels on the Facebook. Winter on Wheels, a truck journey around the country. Anyone can find Winter on Wheels.
Okay.
And then we have a request from both Lalitha and me that we require a lot of, at the end of the day, we want to have a lot of warm blankets that can be presented to these people. So we're trying to raise funds where we can buy, good chunk of blankets. Generally, even in contribution, we get blankets and we get a lot of material. So sometimes the Kashmir warmth is Kashmir cold is so harsh that until unless it's a very high quality blankets, it gets very difficult. So we're planning to buy a few of them. So if people can come forward, it will be wonderful across.
Yeah.
On Winter on Wheels, we are constantly updating what all is happening, and that is where we also have our contribution links and things around.
Okay. Lalitha, you were trying to say something?
I'm sorry, yeah. Everybody please come forward and see if you can donate blankets or if you can donate something for our folks in Kashmir. And we have a Facebook page and we have a website, so you can follow us on those.
All right. And one last question before I let you go. So when do you plan to reach J&K as part of your truck journey?
Expected is around November 11th to 12th, but there can always be a delay in a journey like this.
Right. Okay.
A day or two or something.
Sure.
The truck has a lot of its own limitations. So. And we want to go make sure that we reach more people, even if it's slower a little bit. So a day or so late also. But in meantime, whatever the amount we are trying to collect it, we are trying to send it across so that, the blankets can be reached faster.
I see. All right. Well, folks who are listening on to the show, Winter on Wheels, facebook.com/winteronwheels or winteronwheels.org is where you can find all the updates of this amazing truck journey. And as you have heard from both Akram and Lalitha, they need a lot of warm clothing to prepare for the winter, or rather the harsh winter in J&K. So please look out for the truck. It might be coming into your city. If they do, then please stop by, greet Akram and Lalitha, and do your best. With that, Akram, I wish you the best of everything, and Lalitha, keep going. You guys are doing an amazing job.
Thank you, Suresh, and thank you all of you guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Friends, if you liked today's show, please go to youtube.com/NRI Samay and click on the subscribe button. You will get notified every time we publish a new show. And you can also like us on our social media sites like Facebook, Twitter, and Google+.